I'm going to read a short excerpt of Children in Global Folktales. This is for Sibby, who backed my project very kindly, very generously. Here's a glimpse of my picture essay, which of course I've shown before. I hope she enjoys that as well as the book. And let's begin. It's just a short little excerpt, in this particular case from a much longer tale, because a lot of the stories in my collection are relatively short. But not this one, and in case you're wondering why you're looking at the dwarves from Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's because the story I'm going to read from features my favorite fantasy humans, or humanoids, dwarves. How about this vintage painting, isn't that great? But no, our story has nothing to do with Snow White. Here we go. Are there other little people like you in all the other mountains? Asked Hans. Yes, in all. But there is quite different work going on in each. Sometimes we tell men in their sleep of the wonderful things we make, and when they wake they invent something before which the whole world stands lost in admiration. But we laugh to ourselves, for we know where they learned it. So many things we know here long before they reach the outside world. But now, children, come along, for there's so much for you to see before bedtime. I'm going to skip ahead just a bit, and here we go. But that is all. We never rest. For what would become of the world if the work going on inside of it were suddenly at a standstill? It is we who keep up the great fires inside the earth, so that the hot springs may always come bubbling to the surface for the use of human beings, and so as to supply them with all sorts of things they stand in need of. We are as old as the rocks here, and we shall last as long as the earth itself. We are neither young nor old. We are a part of the mountain. We belong to it, just like the crystals and precious stones hidden in its sides. Would you like to see our treasure house? As he spoke these words, Mushroomite led the astonished children through narrow passages, hardly high enough for them to stand upright in, till they reached a smaller grotto, where he pushed aside a rock, and suddenly they were astonished by a strong light that came from an immense pile of jewels, sparkling and shining, as if each one had a light inside. Fritchen opened his eyes very wide. "Have you gold?" he asked. The dwarf smiled. "Gold? Why, our walls are in a great part of gold, and the further down into the earth one goes, the more gold is to be found. The center of the earth is made entirely of gold." "Then I will be a miner," exclaimed Fritchen. Mushroomite looked at him half pityingly, half contemptuously, and pushed the rock back again in its place, so that there was no trace of where the opening had been. "Nobody can find the way here alone," he said, "and if he did succeed in finding it, the earth would at once fall in upon him, so that he would never find his way out again alive." Well, I hope you liked that, Sibby. That reading and this video is for you. And really, dwarves under a mountain with gold, jewels, what's not to like? I hope you enjoy the full story too when you get to read it. Thanks.